Assalamu alaikum. Dear students, hope you all are fine and enjoying good health. I'm Muhammad Khalid and today we are going to have discussion about environment of Pakistan in week 13, lesson 25th and 26th. Our objectives are to guide and train you students about the environment and its different aspects. The definition and aspects of environment, topography of Pakistan and environment, soil variety and agriculture in Pakistan. Okay. Well, the students, the word why we need to know about environment. Environment basically in Urdu is called mahol. Fine. And it includes all the things, mean something in a complete picture and aspect may be called an environment. Like if you talk about a country's environment, let's for example Pakistan, soil, that what kind of land is there, clear, what thing is beneath the land and on the land, clear, seasons, fine, climate, people, their cultures, language, beliefs, fine. These all the ideas, all these concepts, they are the concepts of environment. Fine. So, Abuhawa, people, soil, lands, crops, wildlife, and everything is included in the say environment. Secondly, why we need to understand the environment. Understanding the environment is important in many ways, that we have to first-hand knowledge about, for example, knowing about the environment is necessary to have information about the soil, about the minerals, okay, season, about the people, culture, law, and everything. For example, let me ask you a question: that which is your favorite country in the world? Number one, and why you want to visit that country? Or let me revert the question or rephrase it. For example, you have been given a package by some lottery or government that you can go to visit or for education to any of the country of your choice. Which one you would like to? For example, is presupposed that if government gives you a chance to visit the countries for recreation, maybe some people like Switzerland, and other person may like New Zealand. So why a person is liking Switzerland? There may be some attributes. Obviously, the natural beauty, cleanliness, courteous people, culture, history, old architecture, fine, and many other things. And similarly, if a person wants to have visit sea life, seafood, islands, variety of wildlife, fine, want to have sitting in a lonely place among the flowers and clear, so definitely he would love to New Zealand. And what is this? The mountains, rivers, flowers, flora and fauna, everything, people, the language is called environment. So we love something. Why? Because the environment of the country is important. Thereby, if you want that, how the old people would shifted from one area to other. For example, the mass migration of the people from one land to the others. That was mostly about the environment. Environment is not simply a land, because with the environment is connected the production of fruits. For example, Saudi Arabia, an Arab world, is normally a desert, high, it's like a plateau, and there are no crops. But on the other hand, Lebanon, Syria, Egypt, Iraq, Iran, Pakistan, they are the different countries because they have the plenty of water. They have green fields, meadows, and much more. This is how the people of those lands would attract to these lands, not just for visiting, but also for the food. So where does most of the food come from? From Pakistan, India, Bangladesh, Iran, and other regions of the world that reach to uh, Gulf countries. And similarly, it is the environment of the country that decide that which kind of economy it would be. Okay, since for example in 60s, Saudi Arabia and the Gulf countries were nothing. They had a miserable life. Well, the petroleum uh, geo means the minerals are discovered and they were distilled and processed and sold out in the world, and this is how the Gulf came as the most rich part in the world, and this is how that's the environment. But Pakistan and India and Bangladesh, they are the agriculture economies. Their environment helps them how to produce agriculture. And remember this, that for many years, India remained the world's most rich country just because of its agriculture, its variety of minerals, variety of languages, environment, and all of this. So, study of environment is for a greater field for the students of the uh, geography, and because we are not going to discuss the world geography the in we just are limiting our approach to simply Pakistan, or if we just express little broadly with connection to Pakistan, we have to express South Asia subcontinent, because they have almost the same climate and same culture, same kind of minerals and other things. Let's read academically something. The term environment is widely used and has a broad range of definitions, meanings, and interpretations. What does the term environment mean? In popular usage, for some people, the term environment means simply nature. In other words, the natural landscape together with all its non human features, characteristics, and processes. To those people, the environment is often closely related to the notions of wilderness and of the pristine landscape that have not been influenced, or at least that have been imperceptible influence by the imperceptibly influenced by human activities. However, for the other people, the term environment includes human elements to some extent. I mean, it's an opposite view. Some people think that only the land, features of land, topography, hills, mountain, rivers, they are the environment. Whereas other people, the second view. However, for the other people, the term environment includes human elements to some extent. Many people would regard agriculture and pastoral landscapes as being part of the environment, whilst the other are yet more inclusive and regard all elements of the earth's surface, including the urban areas, as constituting the environment. Thus, in popular usage, the notion of environment is associated with diverse images and is bound up with various assumptions and beliefs that are often unspoken, yet may be strongly held. All these usages, however, have a central underlying assumption that the environment exists in some kind of relation to humans. इस सारी डिस्कशन का मतलब ये है कि कुछ लोगों के नज़दीक सिर्फ ज़मीन की बैरूनी सतह एनवायरनमेंट है, कुछ लोगों के नज़दीक ज़मीन के ऊपर रहने वाले लोग जो हैं उनका कल्चर, आबादी, वो एनवायरनमेंट है। कुछ लोगों के नज़दीक जो बेहतरीन अप्रोच है कि भाई दोनों ज़मीन का स्ट्रक्चर, आबो हवा, फसलें, फ़नोना एंड फ़ौरा, डेयरी, वाइल्ड लाइफ, domestic life, and also the city lives are included in the environment. Fine. So why the environment in subcontinent? Well, we have to start that the environment of subcontinent and specifically Pakistan is different. First, we have to discuss topography, because last many videos we have been talking about the topography of the Pakistan and environmental regions. Look at this, that subcontinent is divided in all kinds of lands. Look at this, that these regions that you are finding, that let me start from here: Gilgit Baltistan, Kashmir, Chitral, Dir, KPK, some of the region of Balochistan, okay, Uttar Pradesh in India, Maharashtra, Uttar Pradesh, clear, and then Uttar Pradesh with Nepal, Bhutan, and all these regions, they are called the mountain regions, the highlands. And these highlands, you look at this, they make a wall, and this is how they separate this piece of land from the other regions of the world. Fine. And this is how they're called wall of the world. Here is Tibet, that is called wall of the world, rooftop of the world. Fine. So this is a huge wall. The lower areas are the plains. That, look at this, these lines are basically the rivers. This is Indus River, that is flowing from Mansoor, China, and then coming to Pakistan and going into the Arabian Sea. These are the tributaries of the Indus River. This is Jhelum, this is Chenab, and this is Ravi. Fine. And then Satluj and Beas. Whereas these rivers that flow around from here, it is Ganga, it is Jamna, it is, and Ganga, this is Ganges river, and these are also the part of the Jamani rivers. Fine. And there is another river that is called Brahmaputra. This is a huge river that flows from and runs deeply into Bengal, Bangladesh, Indian Bengal, and the Pakistani Bengal. So these areas are the areas of the flowing water, because the highlands have the lakes and glaciers. So these delta areas are very important, because here in this plain, the upper and the lower, fine, they are the highly fertile areas in the world. And this area, Punjab, Indian Punjab and Pakistani Punjab, they include world's best irrigation system in the world, because they are the dams and barrages and canals and rajbas and nalas or khalas that are there. Maybe you may be amazed this word, but they are used because I'm been living there and I understand this deeply. Okay, well, these areas that are under the foot of the mountain regions, they receive more high rains. The top high rains are there up the mountains. These areas have another kind of high rains. For example, The lower areas of Kashmir, you find Rawalpindi, Islamabad, Clare, Murray, also hilly areas, but not that. Okay, Shimla, Uttar Pradesh, Bareilly, fine, and these areas are the high areas. And also, unfortunately, these areas receive the more floods because in the monsoon region, the flood happens in these areas. Well, another thing of these areas, okay, we'll discuss in detail how that floods and everything comes. Okay, the middle land that is by dotted this, these lands are basically the deserts. So you find that this is the mixed land, this is the desert, it is also the desert, Cholistan. There are some deserts in Punjab like Thar and others. Sorry, Thal, not Thar. It is the great Indian desert is called Rajasthan, and you also find that there is a Hyderabad plateau, and there are inner side of the Indian, they're called South India, that is mostly dry, and the lower parts they are mostly the coastal areas. The season is mild, fine, yet the inner parts are dry, and thereby because inner part is dry and there are hotness, and the air from the sea become comes here, and this is how most of the time there are cyclones, and the other things are very frequent. And think similarly about Bengal, receive more floods, more rains, monsoon is quite challenging in these areas. Thank you very much. I think so that it's enough with the topography and little bit brief about the Pakistan and subcontinent. In the next video we'll discuss about Pakistan.